Designing landing pages with SEO in mind. SEO landing pages, where research turns into pipeline. If your organic traffic is climbing, but revenue isn't, the gap is usually the landing page experience, not SEO as a channel. B2B buyers do most of their evaluation before they ever respond to an SDR or fill out a form, and roughly 89 to 90% use the internet to gather information during that research. Your landing pages need to meet that moment with relevance, speed, and a clear next step. Designing landing pages with SEO in mind means you're not treating search as a top-of-funnel vanity metric. You're building pages that rank for specific intent, answer the query immediately, and convert the right visitors into demos, discovery calls, and qualified conversations that sales can actually work. At SalesHive, we see landing pages as revenue infrastructure. When the page is aligned to intent and the offer is tight, it becomes an asset our SDR teams can confidently send prospects to from outbound sequences, whether you run a sales development agency model in-house or work with a B2B sales agency and an outsourced sales team. Why SEO-first landing pages matter in B2B buying cycles. Organic search still carries a massive share of discovery. Roughly 53% of website traffic comes from organic search. In other words, if your best offer doesn't have a page that can rank, you're invisible during the exact window when buyers are actively self-educating. This is especially true in B2B, where between 66 to 82% of buyers use search engines during their research. Those searches aren't abstract. They're specific, evaluative, and often vendor-adjacent: pricing, alternatives, best, agency, services, and industry qualifiers. Ranking position also matters more than many teams admit. The first organic result in Google captures about 28.5% of clicks. That's why good enough pages that land mid-page often fail to generate consistent pipeline even when the underlying offer is strong. Map search intent to a single offer, then design backward. The most common landing page mistake we see is starting with a layout or a brand template and trying to SEO it later. Instead, start with intent. What is the buyer trying to accomplish? What are they comparing? And what would make them take the next step today? Practically, that means you build one page per meaningful intent cluster, anchored to one primary query and one primary offer. For example, a cold calling agency page should not be your generic lead gen hub. It should speak directly to cold calling services, objections, ICP targeting, call QA, and what a cold calling team actually delivers in the first 30 to 60 days. This approach also prevents keyword cannibalization and keeps messaging consistent across channels. When we run outbound for clients, whether it's a cold email agency motion, B2B cold calling services, or broader sales outsourcing, the email, the call script, and the landing page need to tell the same story so the click feels like a continuation of the conversation. On-page SEO fundamentals that make landing pages readable to Google. You don't need gimmicks to win SEO on landing pages. You need consistency on the basics. Start with a clear title tag and H1 that reflect the primary intent, a short and descriptive URL slug, and section headings that naturally cover the questions a serious buyer asks: who it's for, how it works, outcomes, timelines, proof, and next steps. Where teams slip is designing for aesthetics while burying meaning. If the headline is clever but vague, if the page leads with a hero image that says nothing, or if the first meaningful copy sits below the fold, both users and crawlers struggle to understand relevance, and performance follows. Use internal links to connect closely related pages, industry variants, pricing, case studies, and implementation details, so both buyers and search engines can follow the topic path. When the structure is tight, you can support multiple commercial pages like SDR agency, sales outsourcing, or outbound sales agency, without turning your site into a confusing maze. A landing page isn't done when it looks good. It's done when it ranks for the right intent and makes the next step obvious. Design above the fold for trust, relevance, and action. SEO gets you the visit, but design earns the next click. Your above-the-fold area should immediately confirm relevance, the exact problem or service, establish credibility, logos, proof points, or outcomes, and present a primary call to action that matches intent. Conversion benchmarks keep expectations realistic and help diagnose issues. Most B2B landing pages convert around 1 to 3%, and product service pages average roughly 2.7 to 2.9%. If you're stuck under 1%, it's usually not a traffic problem. It's an intent mismatch, a trust gap, or friction in the CTA. This is also why we like treating SEO landing pages as SDR assets. Whether a prospect arrives from Google or from an SDR touch, the page should feel role and pain point specific. For example, a hire SDRs page reads differently than a sales outsourcing page. And the CTA should offer a clear, low-confusion next step that sales can fulfill reliably. Speed and mobile UX, the hidden deal killers. A slow page bleeds both rankings and revenue, and the math is unforgiving. A 1-second delay can reduce conversions by about 7%. And pages taking more than 3 seconds to load can lose roughly 40% of users before they even see your offer. The most common performance mistakes are avoidable: oversized hero images, too many scripts firing on load, heavy animation, and form tools that block rendering. If you're serious about SEO landing pages, prioritize core web vitals, compress media, defer non-critical scripts, and keep the first screen lightweight so the message appears instantly. Mobile UX matters even for enterprise deals. Make buttons thumb-friendly, keep forms short, and remove distracting elements that cause accidental taps or scroll fatigue. When a buyer is comparing multiple vendors from a phone between meetings, a clean mobile experience is often the difference between book a call and back to search. Scale results with a portfolio of focused landing pages. One strong landing page helps, but a system of pages creates compounding growth. Companies that increase their landing pages from 10 to 15 see about a 55% lift in leads, and teams with 40-plus landing pages can generate up to 500% more leads than businesses with fewer than 10. The key is focus, not volume for volume's sake. Build pages around distinct intent, industry-specific variations, persona-specific concerns, comparison pages, in-house versus outsourced sales team, and service pages that mirror how people search, cold calling services, B2B cold calling, cold email agency, and similar. Where teams go wrong is cloning the same generic page and swapping a few keywords. If the proof, examples, objections, and CTA don't change with the intent, Google sees thin duplication and buyers see a template. Both outcomes reduce performance. Each page should earn its existence by answering a unique question better than alternatives. Make it operational: measurement, testing, and outbound alignment. An SEO landing page is never a set-it-and-forget-it asset. Track rankings and impressions, but judge the page by business outcomes. CTA click-through rate, form starts versus completions, booked meetings, and down-funnel opportunity creation tied back to the page. Testing should be simple and continuous, one change at a time, measured over a meaningful sample. Start with the highest impact levers: headline clarity, proof placement, CTA wording, form friction, and the first screen layout, before you rewrite body copy or add new sections that dilute the message. Finally, connect the page to how your team actually creates pipeline. At SalesHive, we use Outbound to route decision-makers from ideal accounts to the most relevant page for their role and problem, combining SDR execution with data hygiene so traffic isn't random. When your SEO pages and your outbound sales agency motion reinforce each other, you stop treating landing pages as brochures and start using them as reliable meeting generators.